Good evening to all the viewers who are joining us on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Zoom. It's my proud privilege to welcome you to the Wellness Webinar 4.0, which is being hosted by Delhi Public Schools, Sector 45, Gurgaon. I have the privilege of introducing you to 8 wonderful, bright, chirpy, and very, very dedicated young people who I am proud to call my students. So I'll introduce you to all of them. We have first Arohi Roy Chaudhary, who is a student of class 12 and wishes to pursue economics later. As a peer educator herself and the president of the Peer Education Club, she enjoys social interaction and public speaking. She was chosen as a young research fellow under the Young Leaders for Active Citizenship program. She visualizes herself as a champion of change. Thank you, Arohi, for joining us.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hardik Sharma. Hardik Sharma is also a student of class 12. He is the president of the school's theatre club and is also a sports enthusiast. He loves to watch football and is an avid follower of FC Barcelona. He is an extrovert and aspires to become a lawyer. He'll be a very good lawyer, I know that. Thank you so much, Hardik, for being with us.
Thank you.
Arshia Chaudhary is our third student from class 12, also a student of humanities. She takes a keen interest in economics and entrepreneurship. She is the president of the school theatre club and enjoys acting and writing. She wants to become an entrepreneur. The fourth young man from class 12 is Kumam Sareen. He is a student of biology and the president of Pulse, which is the biology club of the school. His other interests include macroeconomics and learning the nuances of investment and trading. Wow, that's a diverse packet you have with you. He wants to become a cardiothoracic surgeon. All the best to you for your dreams. May they all be fulfilled and may you achieve all that you want to.
Thank you, ma'am.
Aditi Gupta is a class 11 science student. She enjoys art, poetry, and script writing. She is also an avid reader, and her favorite genre is mystery and fiction. The life of Malala Yousafzai greatly influences her. She sees herself as a successful architect. Akshat Ajmera. Thank you for joining us, Aditi. Akshat Ajmera is pursuing the commerce stream in class 11. His favorite subject is maths. Wow. He's passionate about fitness and participates in different sports activities. He aspires to become a lawyer. Thank you so much, Akshat. Kudrat Mehta is a student of humanities in class 11, studying psychology and economics. She's an active member of the Interact Club of the school and loves to be part of all community service projects. Kudrat is a voracious reader and an excellent debater. She was a part of the TGELF bootcamp. She is also the president of the UN initiative Girl Up Club in the school, working in the field of women empowerment. Thank you, Kudrat.
Thank you, ma'am.
Last but certainly not the least is Shrek Harbanda, a science student of class 11, who is interested in learning about new skills in the field of AI and deep learning. His blog, Insightful Passion, is his initiative to spread positivity in these unprecedented times. He is a core team member of the UN initiative Girl Up for the school. Thank you very much, all 4 of you, for joining us. So, dear viewers, for us, since March, we've been calling it not difficult times, not troubled times. We've been calling them unusual times in DPS Gurgaon. It has brought about, like we always say, there is always a silver lining to every cloud. And this cloud has brought with it a lot of new thoughts, new dimensions, new perspectives. And so my first question goes out to all 8 of them, keeping in mind that our talk today is around COVID-19, compassion, and connection. So my first question is your first reaction to the closure of school and the declaration of COVID-19 as a pandemic, which happened sometime in early March, and the schools closed in the middle of March. So we will go, if you find somebody has said what you were going to say, don't worry, say it again. It's good to reinforce a good thought. So what if it is the same thing comes up again and again? I'll start with Arohi.
Thank you, ma'am, for the question. I think this was when it was declared that, before COVID-19 being declared, I think I will first reinforce how students felt when it was declared that school is going to be shut. I think for all of us, at least when we entered grade 12, this was something which was completely unprecedented. And we as students were looking forward to this being a roller coaster of a journey with academics, with a bunch of other extracurriculars that we wanted to do. Most importantly, our last year in school, which I don't think any of us wanted to miss. There were a lot of apprehensions surrounding us. We are going to miss out talking to our teachers, our friends. It's going to be all, it's just going to be us. The world was as if everything was paused. But at the same time, I think I was at least a little quick to adapt to the fact that it is a pandemic, and at the same time, it is a gift of time that we've all got to really pause, to rewind, to refresh, and think about what we want for ourselves in future. I think this has, if I relate it to the Great Depression, I would call COVID-19 to be the great pause of time. And it has taught us a lot. And I think my fellow panelists would want to elaborate. Thank you.
Hardik, you go next.
Thank you, ma'am. Adding to Arohi, I'd like to say I totally agree with her. We have almost lost half of the last school year of ours, but I have a different aspect to the story. In March, if I say my class was the first, we were given a 5-day off for COVID-19 and pre-quarantine. So we did not expect at that time that this would grow in such a big disease and a pandemic. At that time, we were all very happy. We have got 5 days off, we'll enjoy, and others are coming to the school, and we'll just go and chit chat at home. But as we went through, it was a unusual time, and totally unexpected. It was something to adapt, and we at DPS Gurgaon, I can proudly say we are taught that at every moment, in every event, and in every class that we can adapt to situations, and I guess we have adapted very well. We all connected. This taught us that how strong our bond was. We were unexpected of our own bonds with each other, and for me, this COVID-19 was a situation where I got close with my teachers and my peers, and especially my
I'm
family.
asking your first reaction.
My first
Not the
reaction
entire
was
course.
my first reaction was not very. I was not very happy because at that time it was very intense moment of sports going out there, be it cricket or football, and those all matches stopped as it was in foreign countries. So me and my friends, we were not happy. Like, why are these football matches going stop? And then it suddenly popped up in India. So it was a sudden reaction to it.
Kudrat, your first reactions.
Continuing from where Hardik left off, I think I was in a bubble for a really long time when COVID was announced, thinking it's never going to reach India or it's not going to impact us in that way. And then when I first heard about the schools going closed down, I realized, I think my first realization was how much we took for granted. I don't think, like, when we were all in school, we used to crave vacations thinking like, okay, weekend is finally here, 2 days off from school. And now that all of us are sitting at home, we're really wishing we get to spend 2 days in school instead. So that realization about how much we've lost compared to our like school calendars is really hitting us now. But I think I also suffered from what psychologists mention as change blindness, which is basically once change hits you, you tend to focus on the negative aspect of it. Like your attention is only focused to one aspect of it. So my attention was constantly to the number of active cases, never to the number of recovered cases. However, after a while, when the active cases took over the number of recovered cases, I got more worried day by day. But then I started realizing how much I had got from this. I became more self-aware because of this lockdown. And I feel like that's something I've learned a lot as well.
Wonderful. Shrey.
Thank you, ma'am. Actually, I had a very mixed reaction. So, ma'am, it was the day when board exams got over. It was literally that day. And we all were very happy. Our happiness of getting the exams getting over was greater than the sadness of the COVID-19 break. So I believe that at that point of time, I tried to relax at home. We were a bit sad that we couldn't meet friends. That was a main agenda after the board exams got over. But then it was fine. It took me not more than 2 days, to be honest, to adapt by living at home.
Wow. Nice. Arshia. Arshia, where are you?
Initially, I was very upset about it because I used to be very annoyed because the fact when things didn't go as planned. But our perception about a situation really influences the way we choose to react to it. If we perceive it, we can perceive it as a disruption to our daily routine, but we can also view it as a time, an unasked yet a much needed break to relax, to discover more about ourselves. And I think I'm more connected, I'm more closer to my family, and I draw a lot more. I have discovered new hobbies, and
what was your reaction? I'm not asking what happened after. You're all getting lost in that. Your first reaction.
I was initially upset because when we cannot carry out our daily routine activities because of factors that are beyond our control, it made me feel helpless. But after some time, I started adjusting to the new normal instead of cribbing about and wishing to go back to normal.
Okay. Kuvam?
Thank you, ma'am, for the question. So my initial reaction actually occurred 1 week after the online classes started taking place because it hit me by a shock. And that day I remember with intricate details. It was divided into 3 distinct phases. My first phase of that day was of extreme happiness that we would have indefinite holidays, we would get a lot of time to rest, we have all the time to ourselves. But then the second phase, it was about it was of anxiety and sadness and a bit of confusion as to what will happen, how will boards take place, how will the practicals take place, what's going to happen, because it's my last year in school and it's of utmost importance. And the third phase of that day was it is described by a single word of 6 letters, and it's gratitude. I was thankful that I'm getting time for um, for my studies, for my competitive exams, for getting to know my family, for the online classes that the school is conducting, and in general, a lot of time to connect with all of my friends on a deeper connection, which I could not before. So that
Thank
is
you.
my journey of that day.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you for the honesty. Some of you have said that you were very happy that now it's indefinite time. Very nice. Honest answer. Aditi and then Akshat. Your first thoughts, first reactions.
Just as Shrey said, our both got over, so we were very bummed that, oh, we cannot go out. And I was like, Mom, what am I going to do now? But then gradually, in 2 days only, I adapted to it because the whole 10th year, I did not get time for myself. I was either studying or busy with some competitions. So I was happy also, but sad. But as we say, nothing lasts forever. So I had the hope, and then I stopped checking the news and I just relaxed. So, Mom, that was my first reaction.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you, Aditi. Akshat?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, so I had been following the disease since early January, and the declaration of the pandemic was, in my opinion, an inevitable consequence. So, ma'am, though I was not surprised, I was really disheartened because, as Shrey said, the board had just got over, and not being able to meet our friends, not being able to go out and celebrate, that was a bit disheartening. And actually, there was a little bit of happiness as well because of the thought that I'd not have to go to school even after boards and just get more time to relax. But that was my opinion as a student. But as a young mind, I think it was that the declaration of the pandemic, where I started getting hope that people will finally start taking this disease seriously, and people will start taking precautions seriously, and which will be good for all of us, for the greater good.
So I must share with you my first reaction. uh, pandemic was declared in the first week of March, and I don't know why. Like one of you said that you thought it will never reach India. I was also somehow lulled into that it's too hot in India. I don't think the corona will like it very much here, and it won't come here at all. And then the logical part of my brain said, but it's equally hot in parts of China, and it's reached Vietnam, and that's also a hot country. So, I mean, come on, snap out of it. My next reaction was what you call hyper mode. How do I quickly train all the teachers to be able to go online? Not everybody is net savvy. I'm not very net savvy myself. Better than many, but not. I mean, we can't take classes. So would you believe it that for 48 hours, all we did was try and learn how to use Zoom. We were sitting in our own offices and doing Zoom calls to each other to see if I collect 17 people, will I be able to talk? Can I see them? How do I share the screen? How will I teach? That was my biggest concern. I was not terribly worried that time about the spread, and I kept thinking that everybody will be well behaved and we'll all be in lockdown. And the first phase of the lockdown was only for 15 days, if you remember. And the optimist in me thought, okay, 2nd April we'll be back in school. Now we're sitting on 29th of July and we are still not in school. So first reactions are very important to think back at what you did. My next question comes out to 4 people. So I'm telling you beforehand who's going to answer: Arohi, Hardik, Aditi, and Akshat. So one of the offshoots, which one of you mentioned also, one of the offshoots of this COVID and the lockdown has been an immense sense of gratitude of what we have, what we take for granted, what we don't even look at, what we presume that is mine. It's there to stay. So somehow that has come in very sharp focus. Possibly because of social media, possibly because of being home and having the time. Otherwise, when you're in overdrive and you're sort of doing things in a very robotic, scheduled manner, you tend to overlook these things. So what, according to you, as a reminder for our viewers, what for the 4 of you were the wow moments or those things that you're truly, truly grateful for, which you had, for whatever reason, taken for granted when life was normal? I'll start with you again, Arohi.
Thank you, ma'am. So, ma'am, I think I have been able to experience COVID very closely because my mom is a doctor. So, and I think the biggest thing that we've all taken for granted is human interaction as such. So, my dad, he had been living abroad for the past 2-3 years. And just in January, he was able to briefly get back home. And that kind of interaction, I think I had forgotten to experience days, months with my dad. It would not extend beyond 6 days, and now it's 6 months that he's home. So that kind of bond has grown really stronger. And I think for a long time, since I was a kid, I took my mom's profession for being very granted, and I was even frustrated with her being a doctor, because while other parents had weekends to go for movies, mom would be in her clinic, and we would have to adjust our schedule according to hers. So I think that has brought, I feel really privileged to have her go every day and save lives of millions. And
Wow.
at the same at my own personal level, I'm so thankful for having people around me who reached out to me, saying that, hey, this is your grade 12 seniors as such. Do you need any help with notes in case you're not able to reach out, understand classes online? That is compassion to me too. It doesn't need to be always, being able to feed 3,000 migrant laborers. You can be compassionate to your juniors by helping them with notes. Gratitude also in terms of me being able to have my own laptop. I know like my friends who have siblings, 3 people staying in the same house, and they decide that today, okay, I have my difficult classes today, so today I will use the laptop. Tomorrow I'll give it to my younger brother and I will use my phone. So little things like that have really made me feel privileged, and at the same time thankful for being having all of this.
Thank you so much, Arohi. Very, very mature answer. And I think one which would resonate with some of our viewers. Aditi, what about you?
as the lockdown was imposed, maids did not come home, and we had to do all the work on our own. And when we were in the normal times, we were so chilled on Sundays that okay, the maid will come and even mama will do the work. But now, when we had to do it on our own, I really felt thankful that my mom and even my maids, they all do so much work for us. I also helped her throughout. So I was really thankful that I'm so privileged that in the normal times I had this and I neglected it. But now I really feel thankful. Second was that I feel I'm still connected to my school. I'm still connected to Yuma. And I had read a very sad news that a girl ended her life because she could not attend online classes. And I feel so thankful that I have a laptop, I have my own laptop, my own phone, so that I can attend the live classes. And I have so many competitions to attend. And my school is still connected to me and trying to keep me as happy as we can. So yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Aditi. That was very nicely said. Hardik?
Thank you, ma'am. Adding to Aditi, I would like to say the same thing. Uh, in our daily routine, we all neglect the fact that how much help is the domestic help is, how much of a help they are. Like our own maid, we are so I will use the word arrogant. Like she's washing the dishes and we go there and just put our glasses in front of the sink like auntie goes there. Like, but now when we are doing it ourselves, and like I am washing the dishes and my mom comes and puts it like that, I get so frustrated. Like I'm washing there and you're just putting it there. That's so rude. And now we get to know that how much of work they do, and they do it for like 10 different houses, not even one. And in one, we are like too much of work. I am tired. And secondly, I would like to point out the fact that how much of a help are our neighbors. Like in daily routine, we are like connected to our neighbors, but we do not cherish the fact that they are always with us in our good or bad. This COVID-19, like the maximum I could go out was to my next house, and that is a place where I enjoyed the most, and I could see that we can find happiness in anything, literally anything. So that is my story.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Last, Akshat?
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, what I value most is my family. And I have always told myself that I know the true value of having a family. But since my close family, all of them live in Gurgaon itself, so we had, in normal times, we had the chance to meet ourselves regularly. But since the pandemic, missing out on the chances to meet even our close family, close relatives, it has actually taught me, it has actually made me realize that I have been neglecting them, that I actually do not know the value of family. But now I have come to my hometown Ajmer. I'm living with my entire family here for the past 2 months now. And just living with them, it makes me happy. And living with my grandparents, it makes them also happy, which is at the end of the day, the thing that we all should value and the thing that makes us all happy. Just
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad 2-3 of you have picked up the topic of the domestic help, because, that's something which worries me, because many of you have aspirations of going abroad. Even if you don't have aspirations, there may be a time, when you may be posted abroad as part of your work. And in the West, there is no help. There is no domestic help at all. So I think this is a time that this life skill of being able to handle your basic work in the house, cooking, cleaning, are very basic things. We take it for granted. Food reaches the table, there's no problem. In fact, sometimes children used to make faces, oh, you made beans again. Now you cherish that, So like Hardik was also saying that you just dump the dirty dishes in front of the maid, she's going to wash it. I realized that now, because you're washing it yourself, you're using fewer glasses. You pick up that one glass in the morning and you stick to it till the evening because you don't want to wash it again and again. You're in the process saving water. So look at the collateral benefits that is coming because of this. Not only are you respecting all that you took for granted, but also you are making lifestyle changes which are going to help. There was a joke which one of my friends told me, that I always thought my house was very small, but when I have to sweep and swab it, it looks very big for me. So again, perspective. Thank you very much. I think all four of you are very articulate in what you are grateful for. One more offshoot of the COVID-19 has been somewhat of a sense of isolation, of being locked in, because this was a lockdown, of being disconnected, and a lot of our children, I don't mind saying it to all of you because you're sensible kids. Some of our children, our own students, started feeling that sense of, that now what? That anxiety. I don't have friends. Who will I talk to? So that feeling of disconnection. So did you feel it? Then how did you overcome it? And if you didn't feel it, how did you, what did you do to not get that feeling of being disconnected? Because you're not meeting your friends. In a normal day, you would meet your friends at 7:30, sit with them in class, have your tiffin with them, have some fun, crack jokes with them, and be with them in the bus, and then reach home only by 2:30 or 3. That's a large chunk of the waking day. Now, when that is not there, how did you overcome? If you actually felt it, what did you do to overcome it? And if you didn't feel it, what was that magic you did? Because again, this is a very important question. I hope we have young people watching the show so that they can get some pointers from you. This question goes out to Arshia, Kuvam, Kudrat, and Shrey. Arshia, first.
Thank you, ma'am. I think I'm even more connected to my friends now. We've developed a certain mature level of friendship that even if we're not meeting physically every day, we're still checking up on each other. We play games online, we do Zoom calls, also attending classes online, and the school trying its best to help us establish a routine and give us a sense of normalcy. It actually has made me feel more connected to my teachers as well as my peers. The fact that we can all relate to each other, we're all stuck in the same boat, it has genuinely brought me closer to my friends as well as my family.
Very nice. Thank you, Beta. Kuvam, what about you?
Thank you, ma'am, for the question. Yes, I actually felt the feeling of isolation for quite some time because I have never actually talked to even my family for that matter, because we had such bad routine in general, because we had school, we had offices, and in general it just made me feel that what would I do now. But after a certain point of time, I felt that I should take this time to connect more with my friends, with my family, with my teachers. For the teacher part, the teachers themselves called us occasionally to check up on us, which was a really good thing because it made the connection between us and them stronger. For my friends, there's this activity I did. So basically, I took up 20 random questions and I asked them. Some of them were like, if you were sitting for a dinner, you could call someone, who would you call and what would you talk about? Now that establishes a deeper connection with your friend, and just in general helps you to come out of that feeling of isolation, and helps you believe that you have someone by your side. And with my family, I play games every day. We play Ludo, we play chess, we play everything, and it's just really fun. And there's the time that I got to connect with my family. I'm just really appreciative of that. Thank you.
Thank you, Kuvam, and especially for your initial very honest take on it, that you did feel a little isolated and you were worried about how would you cope with this new normal of being at home all the time. Shrey, what about you?
Ma'am, our teachers used to tell us that we should disconnect from technology and connect with the friends while we are present together. But now, since the lockdown was imposed, I felt a bit locked in because I tried to disconnect myself during the exam so that I could focus more on my studies. And that was like it continued. But then I figured out that it is more important now to reinvest in my old relationships and to also build new connections. And the reason is so that this helps us overcome the time together. And there's also a fact that people call it social distancing. I like to call the fact of social distancing as physical distancing, because
We've been saying that.
we're not putting an end to social connections, we're putting an end to physical connections together. And I believe that connecting with my friends has been never better before. I think I am way more closer to them now, and I try to check up on them every morning and now and then. And for people who don't do that, who think that this is also a time to realize upon themselves, I tell them, do it alongside, do it with me, so that I can be a part of your life and we can continue this friendship for a much longer time, which is something which is very close to my heart.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you so much. Kudrat.
Initially, like everyone else, I felt really isolated because, like Shrey mentioned, we had our boards, so we were seeing less and less of our friends, even from like last November. And when this happened, I just realized how alone I felt. But slowly and steadily, I think the realization also came upon the fact that being alone is not a synonym of being lonely. And I think that's something I realized really late. And with that, I think one other realization that dawned upon me was that in school, we're very used to seeing one side of our friends, their academics, or the way they behave in school. But now that we are in our own comfort zones, I think there's a lot more sharing of our daily life experiences with each other. Like Arshia mentioned, we play online games together. So the connect has now been deepened to some extent that we know how their house functions, what are their free timings, what do they actually enjoy doing, how they spend their time, how mentally well they feel now. So that is something that has improved because it's true, you realize the value of something when you've lost it. And I missed the harmless jokes, I missed the casual gossip, because slowly and steadily there was just less and less of it, right? So now it's a daily routine that 1 hour you just decide to call up a bunch of friends, do a Zoom call, like get together with people who were in your class, like back in second grade. We just had a second grade reunion to see how much we've grown together. So that's something that I've done.
That's such a lovely idea, Kudrat. I wish everybody does it. Okay. So now, while we were grappling with this new normal and the feelings that were coming in, because this was a contrived situation. I'm 3 times your age, but I have also never been holed in for so long in one place. I'm a very social person. I have loads of friends. I have family, and I like to go out. So a lot of us took refuge in skill building, me included. So skill building or reviewing or revisiting some new skills. So I want a one-word answer. I don't want a sentence. I want a one-word answer from each of you. What skill did you pick up during the pandemic? Or did you revisit? And we'll start with the boys this time. Kuvam.
Ma'am, the skill I picked up is knowing the market, the macroeconomic part, investing, and knowing the Indian market, how it functions, how what companies play what roles, and in general the market itself.
You mean that like in dabbling in stocks and shares?
Ma'am, not yeah, kind
A
of.
little bit, like a virtual portfolio. Do you have that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So did you make money or did you lose money?
Ma'am, I made money, but because I was using less capital, because I'm not earning right now, that's why I made a little bit of money only.
Good. As long as you make a little, it's good.
Yes.
Akshat, one skill.
Just like even I'm fascinated by financial markets. So that's the skill that I've been working on. I took
Okay.
a course online. And
Very
we
good.
also had an activity, Stockathon, where we had to invest virtual money. So I really liked that as well.
Okay. Shrey?
I'm investing in my career, blogging, and at the same time thinking about how I should give back to the society and how I should volunteer at various places.
Okay. So have you been writing some blogs?
Yes, ma'am. I just began writing the blog. That my main motto is influencing people and writing something that people can relate to directly. It just passes through the heart.
Okay. Hardik, one skill.
Ma'am, I reinvested in my chess. I used to play chess a lot earlier, but then after 10th, I kind of lagged behind. So I reinvested in that. I had free time to say, so I reinvested my skill in that and tried to gain back my position.
Wow. Arohi, one skill.
I did a bit of research because I have been working with like the underprivileged section. So I just looked into a bit of Indian policy frameworks and how it's not being implemented, what could be done. And
Okay.
I had been studying Spanish till 10th grade, and after 11th, I completely lost touch. So I just went through, watched a few Spanish movies, tried to interpret them.
Very nice. Aditi?
Learned household chores, and I reinvested in painting and my poetry writing skills.
What was it that you said first? You learned to?
Household chores.
How to?
Household work.
Okay.
Cleaning, cooking,
Very,
utensils.
very important skill.
A very important skill.
Will help you. Trust
Yes,
me.
ma'am.
Kudrat?
Like Aditi mentioned, the household work definitely, but I also wanted to educate myself on movements that really mattered to me. So I went on the little of activism side, and I also focused a lot on psychology, impact on teenagers, and stuff like that.
Kudrat?
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry. Arshia?
Yes, I draw a lot more now. And I also did some online courses on digital marketing and strategic business management. And I also discovered a skill that I like to cook.
You like to cook. Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay. Since most of you have been with the school for a long time and you have been involved with either the community service club or with the Interact Club, I think what social media threw up away from the COVID situation was a lot of pathos in the way the poor were dealing with this, daily wagers who lost their jobs, even your own domestic servants. A lot of them went through that fear, although I'm sure 90% people paid up, even though they were not working. I know that there were 10% people who refused to pay, that I've had a job loss or I've had a pay cut and therefore I'm not paying you. So all of that must have invoked some kind of feeling of compassion or wanting to reach out. So who all, this is an open question to any of you, you just have to raise your hand and answer. How many of you were touched by those stories of the migrants and of the extremely poor in the juggies and in the bastis? How many of you were able to reach out and what did you do? Just share your stories. Yes, Kudrat.
So I'll so initially, if I just share how I felt about it, I felt awfully helpless, sitting in my house with air conditioners, with an internet connection, with food. I was so frustrated with the fact that I wanted to reach out, but I didn't know how to, because I lived in a red zone at that point. And then I remember, ma'am, when you addressed grade 11th for the first time, you mentioned how in our partner school, the government school of Tanhai, you have been sending out teams for food donation. And I think that was when I realized that I can still do something and I still wanted to do something. So you were in that way an inspiration for me. And then I thought that a change, be it small, was a change nevertheless. So I began reaching out to my domestic helps, then contacted Rekha ma'am, and now that Interact is also working. So providing them with educational videos regarding their curriculum or just fun activities that do not take that kind of data. So no videos, but podcasts. So that's how I reached out to people around me, the societies, guards who were continuously working. So food for them, that's one thing that my family did. So that's how I've been reaching out.
Very good. Very well done, Kudrat. What about you, Hardik?
Ma'am, near me, it all started very early. Like everyone started collecting food, and there is a site near my house. One car comes, and we all just put the food there, and the food is just given to the people there. But in my neighborhood, ma'am, in front of my house, there is a tailor. He lives there, and like we are so privileged, we expect a lot, but when we look at them, they literally expect so less of their life. They want to feed their families, they actually love their work, and they want to just earn. But this lockdown just hit them so hard. Like they used to reach us for help, and I like to thank my mother in this. She's been the greatest help, I can say. She has helped so many people, our domestic maids, our earlier domestic maids, tailors, and all the nearby people which often go ignored in front of us because they are not the people who live in uh, centered slums, and not like the major food and the wholesale food can go there. They live near us, so we help them like that. We give our share, food from our home or money, but and clothes as well.
Very good. What about you, Arohi? You had raised your hand.
Ma'am, I think like the others, I think even I tried to do what I could do in my capacity. So I think when we had, the first week of the lockdown, and it was very stringent. So I think everyone in our society decided that we let the guards stay here. So now when you have someone to stay, you need a lot of things. You need blankets, you need pillows, then you need to give out food. So I think a few group of my friends out here, we decided to, make a list of houses which were willing to donate. And then we went about collecting the blankets. And then, of course, there were elders who were organizing this. So through them, I think we could reach out to them. And I was working with this NGO, and a lot of children didn't have access to laptops to really, have online classes. So we would do WhatsApp calls for video calls for 1 hour on Sundays, because that was the only day, and there was, I think, one smartphone in one house. So just the basics of what we could understand of their elementary math, or ask them, what doubts do you have? Just a one-on-one conversation, kind of like just to solve whatever queries they had throughout the week. So that's all.
Very nice, very nice. Just reaching out is enough. Yes, your hand was also. Yes, Bache, batao, Shrey.
Ma'am, I have a very short personal story to share.
Please.
Ma'am, ma'am, it was the second week of lockdown, and I was sitting and enjoying the online classes in my comfort of my bed. And that at that moment, I realized it is just me that has this laptop, and there are thousands of children who do not have a good laptop. And our problems here at home are that we do not have a good Wi-Fi connection, and people don't even have that Wi-Fi connection to access these online classes. And it was that week only when my gardener came up to me. Came up to my house, and he said that I don't have a phone and I want my child to educate, and it is his class 10 board exams, and I think it is very important for him. So it was that moment when I thought that I should realize the fact that I'm privileged. And at that moment, to overcome that fact, I had a spare phone. I just bought a new phone, and at that moment, I felt that I don't need uh, this spare phone to keep my old photos. I want to give this to him so that he could just access even his online classes, which he cannot right now. And that made me feel really, really well that day.
Very nice. So I've always said this. I've often said this, that you feel very happy when you get a gift, but the happiness is doubled and tripled when you give something. And giving something which you're no longer using or you can do without, I think is the happiest thing. So I'll share a little bit about what I did in the midst of just being home and attending classes and having meetings. I decided to clean out a lot of the stuff that we have. Both my children have dumped a lot of their stuff in the house. So I started looking for stuff, and I kept showing it to them on the phone. I said, "Are you going to ever wear this? Swear that you're going to wear it, otherwise I'm going to throw it away." And I managed to bring out at least 2 sacks full of books and about 4 big garbage bag full of clothes and shoes. And I just packed it off to Gunj, because Gunj is the only place which actually, sends out things in the right capacity, in the right way, in the right direction. And I gave this idea to the teachers also. I said, all of you must be home. Is anybody spring cleaning? So I got about 45 yeses. I said, please bring whatever you want. We'll send a bus to Gunj. So we sent almost 2 busfuls, which must have meant at least 200 bags to Gunj, and genuinely felt happy that here something which we have not used or taken for granted is being now put to good use with somebody who may actually need that. And all my old phones have been given away to Shiksha Kendra children. In fact, I was telling Santwana ma'am, give away the confiscated phones also. Just give them all away, because those have been like for 2-3 years now. What are we going to do with them? De do, kuch nahi hota. Okay. Now, even after all of this, these challenges of these, difficult moments that you wanted to reach out, but you couldn't reach out, there must be some little expectation, some little, like a wish list. When you were small, when the scholastic used to come, you used to have a little wish list that I wish I had this book, I wish I had that book. So I'm going to break it up now. I'm going to ask you your expectations of a couple of people that you are in touch with. So I want Kudrat and Kovam to tell me, what are your expectations from your friends, your peers, your classmates? Anything, just voice it.
Ma'am, I genuinely just want them to stay happy. Ma'am, we're teenagers. We're used to interacting with each other constantly. We're used to just going out, having fun, coming home late. That's the kind of outlook we all thought, that's the kind of experience we thought we were going to have in grade 11. And it was a serious blow to all of our plans, seeing that we won't be attending grade 11th physically. So a lot of us were so bogged down by it that I just genuinely, if I had to sum it up, I just want them to be happy. And there's one quote I found awfully simple when I first heard it. It's from Cinderella. It says, "Have courage and be kind." That's it. That's the whole quote. And I think now I've realized how important it is, and it has become my life mantra. And I hope it becomes my peers' life mantra, because this is the only thing we need to get out of this lockdown. We need to have courage to stay strong, irrespective of whatever challenges that are thrown our way. We need to choose happiness every day we wake up, and just be kind, because like all of us have mentioned, we've all realized how privileged we are. I hope that all of my peers realize how privileged they are, and just show their kindness to anybody who needs it, not just say an underprivileged person or a person whose social or economic status is lower than yours is, but to your peers. Be accommodating if they can't attend that one Zoom call. Tell them you'll catch up
Very
later.
nice.
That's it.
Very nice. Thanks. That's such a sweet thing. Kuvam,
Thank you, ma'am.
one expectation from your friends.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, what I expect from my peers is that they understand the problems of not only those people very close to them, but also for the people that they haven't talked to for quite some time, because this lockdown has taken a toll on us, and we have had connections being broken down. And I just want everyone to let go of their ego, or one thing that is holding them back from messaging or talking to one of those friends that they can't talk to right now.
Very nice. That's such again, a very beautiful thought. Basically, compassion. Arohi and Nakshat, your expectations from the two people who are closest to you, your parents. Anything. What do you think they could do at this time to help you, or to make the world a better place, or to help, whatever that comes to your mind?
I think I'll start with my mom. So I think my expectations out of her, I think she exceeds my expectations every time she goes, and she reaches out to so many people who are struggling. When she talks to the family of people who have their relatives in the hospital, and she consoles them. So my expectations out of her is that, mom, I really wish that the kind of love and hope that you're spreading spreads out everywhere, and to your colleagues too, and they're also able to imbibe the kind of compassion you've been able to show to others. And to my dad, I think he has been holding us all together, the kind of fear all of us have when mom walks out every day. He is able to, keep us out that, this is going to be it, and we'll walk through this. So
Very nice.
I, from dad, thank you for being there for us. And I really hope that every family is able to kind of impart this kind of strength to each other, because like Kudrat said, courage is all we need. And I think parents being able to engage in these kind of mature conversations with children at this point of time, it is really important, because everyone is feeling it, and it's important that we acknowledge it.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Akshat?
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, I do not, ma'am, since they used to be very busy in normal times, but since we are all at home, I expect very little from them, that they just spend a little amount of time every day with me. In the sense that playing cards with me, playing carom or ludo, or sit down with me once a day for lunch or for dinner, or just have a talk, just talk about how their day went, or what all what all they discovered or who all they talked to, and
What
just
has happened in that day?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
and just reconnect with our family that do not live close to us.
Okay. Aditi and Hardik, your expectations from your teachers.
Ma'am, I have always been really close to my teachers, and I used to also have, I used to call them, like, Ma'am, how are you? How is your day going? Even in school. So I just want them to be happy and not be burdened. And even in the class, I see some children troubling them. I just message them that please don't trouble our teachers. They are even learning Zoom, they are learning Google Classroom, they are trying different kinds of activities. Every class I enter, the first question our teacher asks, how was your day? What did you do on your weekend? And it's like I'm so thankful that my teachers are still there with me in this lockdown. And some of my teachers also called me up, Vita, how is your day going? What did you do? And
Very nice.
I still keep on sharing my work, my poetry, and my paintings with them, and they feel very happy. And yes, that's it.
Hardik, expectation from teachers.
Ma'am, to be honest, if I say I have expectations from my teachers, ma'am, I'd be rude because they have been excellent in actually holding us all together, and they have almost tried everything that keeps us in that online scenario and makes us feel we are still together. I'm like I would like to share an example of my own teacher, my accountancy teacher Reena ma'am. Ma'am, we used to tell her that it is difficult to study accountancy online and through slides. Ma'am, in I think it was week 3 or week 4 of lockdown. She arranged for a whiteboard and for a webcam, and she put it up there. She started teaching us. Same with other teachers. They've been extremely sweet, and they ask us every time. And I think it is us who should be responsible and ask them about their day. Like I messaged one of my old school teachers. She was really happy, and first she was shocked. Like, how did I messaged her after 8 or 9 years? She's like, oh, she was so sweet. She felt so sweet. Like, so we should keep on checking on our teachers because they have been very nice to us.
So you have no expectation of teachers. They're doing a great job. I think that message should go out loud and clear to the teachers. They keep worrying. We all keep worrying that are we doing enough? Is there anything else we can do? And the last two, Ashia and Shrey, you get the slightly tougher one. That what is your expectation from the school, not from the teacher, from the school? What do you think we can do more to help in whatever way?
I think the school is doing its best. It has helped us form a routine, and that is so great because there are days where I feel unproductive, and I think having a routine or having classes to attend and participating in webinars, it has made me realize that I do not have to be very hard on myself, and I think the school is doing best to ensure that we're having a life that is as normal as possible.
Shrey?
Ma'am, I expect only one thing from my school and my teachers, and that is realize your self-worth and sit back and take a small break and connect to yourself while you connect to our students. It is very important for our teachers who work tirelessly every day. They're on their laptops at 9 a.m. and leaving them around 7 p.m. every day. And that is what I feel that our school has given us a lot over the years, and now even more. Ma'am, even the messages that you send every week, they're quite inspiring and motivating. And all we need right now is motivation and inspiration while we stay connected to the school. And the only thing I want is that the school relaxes a bit and start thinking about how important you guys are and how you redefine us as a better person.
Thank you. That you have just made the day of a lot of your teachers. Honestly, all of you with your answers. So one of the different things we did was not having a vacation. While most schools declared a vacation for 4 weeks or 5 weeks or 6 weeks, or some of them were my friends, and I said I'm not doing a vacation at all. So they thought I was very cruel. I said I think it's very cruel to give a vacation when you can't step out, you can't go and meet a friend, you can't go and meet family, you can't go and watch a film. What will they do in the vacation? They'll claw each other out. Because at least now with the school, there is some 4-5 hours of normalcy or a routine. But without that, I dread to think what I will do. I mean, if I don't have school, if I don't have a meeting, if I can't attend any classes, those 5 hours are like going to be really heavy on me. How many of you think that was a good idea? Just do a thumbs up if you do. Thank you. So I did worry about it, to be honest, that if you're going to be working throughout, what will happen. So then we thought of these 10-15 days of work and then a 4-day holiday. And then I remember one day I think it was in June, when class 12 two sections wrote to me, they saying we're very tired, feeling really bogged down, can you extend the holiday, the weekend a little longer? So without any second thought, we just gave into that. Okay, we are now running out of time. I have some questions from the audience. Would you be ready to take them? These have been addressed. One has been addressed to Arshia. We'll give a very short answer because we're running out of time now. Do you think COVID-19 has been able to help people introspect and change for the better?
It definitely has, because we've got so much time. I have considered this as an unasked yet a much needed break to relax, to know more about ourselves, to discover our hobbies, and to also work on ourselves physically or mentally. It has definitely given us a time to introspect.
Okay. Kuvam, do you think this change is going to be a permanent one, or will people go back to their usual wasteful ways and disrespectful and taking things for granted? What do you think this change which has come about in most people is a more permanent change now?
Ma'am, I totally believe that the change that we have gone through and the way that we have gone through that change will impact people even after this lockdown, and will leave an impression that they won't they will be very grateful for everything they have, and they won't be disrespectful at all, and they would start changing the world themselves, and slowly this change will develop into something big.
Okay. There's a question for Hardik. How do you think COVID-19 has proved to be a reality check for relationships?
Ma'am, reality check for relationships, I totally agree it has been. You finally get to know who are the ones who stick with you. Who there is a time in our teenage life we think that our friends are everything and we cannot live without them. And in a later phase we realize that it is a family who actually sticks. But I guess it's COVID-19 period. It has made us realize that same thing in our teenager age itself, that family and some close friends who always stick together, who taunt you out on your bad and help you in your good, are the ones who really stick along. And this way you can really introspect and you can manage the relationships.
Okay. There's one question for me, and there's one for all of you children. Now, this has to be really a one-liner, not a second line. Do you think adopting the new normal was easier for you or for your parents? You just have to say it was easier for children or easier for parents. Quickly. Aditi, let's start with you.
I guess it was easier for us because our parents felt, they always told me that you don't spend time with us, you're busy with competition. So
Okay.
yes, it was easy for me to connect with them.
Okay. Kudrat?
Ma'am, I'd like to agree with Aditi on this one. I think it was the children. I think we're quick to adapt to a lot of situations because we can be
More
molded
easily.
in a lot of ways. So
Okay.
I feel like it was us.
Shrey?
Ma'am, it is definitely for us. Our parents have been going out for a longer period of time, and I think they've never had the time to even meet or interact with their children enough. But right now, and it is again difficult for them to adapt to the home style and not the office style.
Okay. Akshat?
Definitely us, the children, because we are so energetic, we are so thoughtful, and we are so quick that, yes,
You
our
adapted.
parents
Okay.
are more susceptible to change.
Okay. Arohi? Does anyone think the parents took to it more easily? Everyone thinks that the children were better at it. Very, very impressive. So the question for me is, what was your thought behind the wellness series for the students and parents? So a tough one. I think I wanted to reach out. I think I wanted to really get to know what has been happening, and allow some of the children to share their thoughts. So this is going to be a series. This is on one topic. That there are many more topics which we have picked up, where we want to listen to children and understand what is going on. Because when you're meeting in real time, we see your body language, and a good teacher senses. On a screen, we can't really sense what's happening, and I don't think it surprises you. All your teachers care for you. I care for you. We worry a lot. So in fact, that first slightly ridiculous video we made of all of us dancing was because in one of the classes where I entered, I just felt that everybody was sounding so low. And after my very chirpy good morning, I got a good morning, ma'am. So I said, what happened to all of you? And then the same thing happened in the next class. The same thing happened in class 9. I said, my God, my children are going into depression. Chalo, jaldi. The only way you can make them laugh is make a fool of yourself. So let's get down to making a fool of ourselves and move on. So that's my question over. Have we finished our time for the day? Bhavna ma'am, are we done? Shall I thank the children?
Absolutely, ma'am.
Okay. So thank you, all 8 of you, for sparing your time, your 1 hour, to share such beautiful thoughts. I'm sure it's given a lot of hope to whoever. We have had more than 100 people joining us on Facebook and another 100 on YouTube. So I'm sure they've all got something out of it. If they hadn't thought of it, they've got some ideas from you. I'd like to also thank Sapna ma'am, who tirelessly goes through these programs with me. Sapna ma'am will keep adding on. Santwana ma'am will keep adding on ideas and themes we can talk about. Arpana ma'am, who helped us choose you all. And of course, Chanchal ma'am and Bhavna ma'am, without whom we are all thumbs when it comes to technology. So a big thank you to the entire team for bringing this together. And we hope to see you on the other side after a week or so. Thank you, children. Thank you, dear viewers, for joining us.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.